What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news for this first day of the launch of Season 17. And so in the video today, we get some updates on missing rewards and Guardian Games emblem grants, as well as details on bugs and issues to be aware of in the new season launch. Then Bungie also teased that more Solar 3.0 is yet to come, amidst some early feedback that Solar feels a little bit underwhelming at the moment. And then we'll touch on some amusing vendor glitches, as well as Leviathan secrets, hidden chests, extra rewards and red box weapons. Plus, we'll round things out with a new exotic drop which we can increase the chance of obtaining through triumphs. And we'll touch on new catalysts and more. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and now let's get into it. And so initially for today, a few updates from Bungie, and one of them related to content last season. DMG said, read Tower's finest triumph / emblem from Guardian Games. The team is working on distribution, we don't have an ETA just yet, but we'll be loud when things start rolling out. So if you're after that Guardian Games emblem, Bungie are working on getting that out into the game shortly. They also said on the subject of performance, that the team is digging on frame rate drops in rosters and menus, plus there are a few other issues being tracked as well, including making purchases from Banshee's inventory causing the game to crash. And so be aware of that. Folks this week have been trying to pick up a new bow from Banshee, the Lunalata 4B, which is a lightweight frame bow, and the perks this week are Headstone and Rangefinder. Certainly something to check out, but bear in mind the bugginess in the menu. Perhaps it's caused by the Telesto that Banshee is now holding onto and working on. Gonna assume that's a bit of a joke right there from Bungie. Also, another random shout here, but with yet more stress being caused by our adversaries this time on Leviathan, in some lobbies you may find that Zavala has lost his head. I mean, the guy's been under constant stress for the past 8 years or so it isn't entirely surprising. But then on the subject of Solar 3.0, DMG said new stuff is live, much of it is unlocked from the get-go, but some requires a quick trip to the tower, head to Ikora, purchase what you need with Glimmer, and attune it all before leaving. And so of course some of the perks and upgrades there do need to be picked up from Ikora, definitely don't miss out on those. However, DMG added that some fragments will be unlocked in time, and that we should stay tuned to the TWAB for details. And we can see in the patch notes for the update yesterday that there are 4 Solar fragments actually redacted, so we are going to get more sandbox possibilities for Solar 3.0 subclasses. Maybe some of those will unlock after the dungeon's completed, or can be found within the dungeon, or some other piece of content in the season. I'll be sure to keep you posted. I actually haven't had too much time to look at the different aspects and fragments for Solar yet, so give us your thoughts down below. Hopefully it's stuff that we'll be able to make more powerful over the next couple of days. But for the new content on Leviathan, DMG said, if you'd like to engage with the containment activity but aren't at 1580 power, don't sweat it. We raise your power to 1570 while containment activities are active. And he also points out that there are 2 matchmaking options for the destination, one for exploring Castellum and another one which is specifically for finding players for the containment activity. So for any folks struggling to get to the tier 3 and stuff and find players, it won't necessarily guarantee better luck, but there should certainly be a better chance of getting those containment clears if you boot up that version. Another interesting thing after you've completed the containment event, of course there is the free chest that opens up, and then we have the option to bind vestiges to get the additional chest. But there are some extra hidden chests that you can pick up in that minute timer after the event is completed as well. So initially, on the left and right hand side of where the boss spawns, there's a room on either side that has the potential to spawn one of these chests, and if you have a cache detector bonus on your ghosts, it will highlight them easier, as you do have to pull a lever to get into a side room. But as well as the 2 sides, heading back towards the entrance of Castellum, there's another potential chest spawn up in the doorway in the corner, then another pretty close by halfway down the stairs, and finally another potential chest spawn in the middle of the room. Often they'll drop blues, but sometimes you can get useful legendaries and things like that, so after completing the event, definitely circle around the room looking for these chests. Of course, also in the Leviathan there are world chests, which are kind of randomly spawning chests, and these look like the standard chests, and when you open them, they have a small chance to grant opulent keys. And of course, opulent keys appear in the inventory and give a hint as to where the opulent chests can be found and opened. And the good thing is, if you find these and open the chests, these ones in particular have better chances at dropping red box weapons from the new season. So if you want to get crafting new things, it currently is pretty much the best way to get the red boxes. And we should bear in mind that Bungie have adjusted weapon crafting, and all element currencies other than neutral element have been removed. And neutral elements are now known as resonant elements. Plus, Bungie buffed the progress rate of weapon level progression in a few different activities. So something else to bear in mind right there. Final little mention here for Leviathan is that we do have new Calus collectible bobbleheads. These are hidden in various different areas aboard Leviathan, and as far as we know there are 4 collectible during week 1. You'll find one of them in the pleasure gardens behind the Calus statue in the center of the room. But I'll link a video down below with all of the bobblehead locations for this week if you want to pick them up. And onto a couple of final exotic mentions here, but there are some new exotic catalysts in the game. Of course, some will be for brand new weapons, but Jotun also gets an exotic catalyst, and I believe this is a random drop from playlist activities. And we can see from the bonuses right there, the catalyst grants faster charge time or draw time when surrounded by combatants. But also, defeating a target spreads Scorch to those nearby, and more powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause Scorch in a larger radius. And so that is a bit of a tasty buff there for Jotun. Everyone's going to love that inside of PvP. And the final exotic mention to make right here is for the new dungeon exotic weapon. Of course, this is the Heart Shadow Sword, and to get hold of it, it turns out it is going to be a random drop in the dungeon. However, there are various objectives and triumphs that can be completed inside of the dungeon to increase the drop rate of the weapon. So we can see here there's a triumph called Mind Heist, and it requires us to collect a new collectible item inside of the dungeon called Calus Repressed Memories. And by collecting all of those and completing the triumph, we can see that it increases the Heart Shadow drop rate. Plus there are a few other triumphs with that bonus, so pretty much confirms it as an RNG drop, but of course we have a way to get increased chances at picking it up. We can also view the dungeon badge right here, so the dungeon will be called Duality. We can see all of the legendary weapons as well as the exotic items there, which I did break down in a video yesterday, so you can check that out or take a look at the badge in-game. I also have a video from yesterday with a breakdown of the loot system for the Crown of Sorrow vendor and the Leviathan destination, as well as its activities, so that may be something to check out as we start progressing into the new season. But for today, guys, that's what we have to round up inside of this news video. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And if you have, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Plus, if you're new around here, be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more content soon. But otherwise, as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.
It is the beginning of the end. A dormant herald of the collapse stirs in its lunar tomb. Where once we banished the nightmares, a new terror rouses them from their slumber. Calus, the Emperor of the Cabal, betrayed by his own daughter and cast into exile. Now obsessed with a voice calling to him from within the darkness. But we will not cower in fear of nightmares. We will do as Guardians have always done. We will rise to meet the enemy and confront our darkest fears with open